A back solicitation is a practice in the transportation industry where a carrier or broker initiates contact with a shipper who is already under contract with another carrier or broker. In other words, the carrier or broker is soliciting business back from a shipper who is already doing business with someone else. Back solicitation can be a controversial practice because it can lead to confusion and disruption in the supply chain. For example, if a shipper agrees to work with a new carrier or broker without informing their current provider, there could be issues with double booking, missed shipments, or other logistical problems. To avoid these issues, many carriers and brokers have established ethical guidelines or codes of conduct that prohibit back solicitation. However, there are some situations where back solicitation may be appropriate or necessary. For example, if a shipper is dissatisfied with their current carrier or broker, or if their current provider is unable to meet their needs, they may be open to working with a new provider who contacts them directly. Ultimately, the decision to engage in back solicitation will depend on a number of factors, including the specific circumstances of the situation, the relationships between the parties involved, and the applicable regulations and industry standards. Yes, that's correct. Back solicitation is when a carrier or broker contacts a shipper who is already under contract with another carrier or broker, and it can be a controversial practice in the transportation industry. While there may be situations where back solicitation is appropriate or necessary, it's important to consider the potential risks and consequences and to follow ethical guidelines and industry standards to avoid disrupting the supply chain. Here's an example of a back solicitation in the transportation industry. Let's say Company A is a shipper that has a contract with Carrier X to transport their goods from one location to another. Carrier X has been providing reliable service to Company A for several months, but recently, Company A has been experiencing some delays and missed pickups. Meanwhile, Carrier Y has been trying to expand its business and has been looking for new clients. They notice that Company A is a potential customer, and they decide to reach out to them directly to offer their services. Carrier Y contacts Company A and pitches their transportation services, explaining how they can provide better pricing and faster service than their current provider, Carrier X. Company A is intrigued and decides to work with Carrier Y instead of Carrier X, without informing Carrier X about the back solicitation. This can create a problem because Carrier X is still under contract with Company A, and they may have already scheduled pickups and deliveries for Company A's shipments. If Carrier X shows up to pick up a shipment that has already been assigned to Carrier Y, this could cause confusion and disrupt the supply chain.